Malaysia is currently practicing a linear economics pattern of production and consumption which are unsustainable for our planet. This model of produce, use, dispose is actually wasteful by design. According to the press release of the Compendium of Environment Statistics Malaysia in 2020, the scheduled waste recorded 4 million tonnes, with healthcare services industry showing an increase of 7.5%. This huge amount of waste is equivalent to the weight of 36,000 adult blue whales. By 2050, the world's population will balloon up to 9.7 billion from the current 7.8 billion. While busy consuming these finite resources that actually lead to unsustainable patterns of consumption and production, we need to move away from the traditional linear to a circular economic model to ensure there is enough food and water in 2050. According to the World Economic Forum, the economic benefit of transitioning to this model is estimated to be worth more than $1 trillion in material savings, with huge potential for innovation, job creation and economic growth. The Circular Economy Initiative offers to solve problems, not shift problems or negatively impact other environmental or social dimensions. The concept of net positive simply means putting more back into the environment or society than a company takes out, with a resulting positive corporate footprint. A group of researchers led by University of Warwick has concluded that a circular economy can help the world recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, while helping nations achieve their net zero carbon emission goals. The circular economy is a model of production, consumption, and waste management which extends the life of items and reduces waste to the minimum. It involves sharing, leasing, reusing, repairing, refurbishing, and recycling existing materials and products as long as possible. Here are some practices that are in line with the circular economy model. The first one is to rethink and reduce. We can use resources more efficiently by changing the way we think about product and production processes. Is a product the best way to meet the demand? Could we use fewer or different resources in its production? Next is by designing differently. For example, by considering reuse, repair and recycling options in advance of production. Other than that, we can also reuse the products, repair and recycle them back. Lastly, by the recovery process where we recover the energy from the materials.
The environmental benefit of implementing the circular economic model is it will be fewer greenhouse gas emissions. When it comes to reducing greenhouse gases, a circular economy can be helpful because it uses renewable energy that in the long run is less polluting than fossil fuels. It is also will lead to healthy and resilient soils. In reality, a circular economic model working in Europe's food systems has the potential to decrease 80% of the use of artificial fertilizer and therefore contributing to the natural balance of soils, according to a study from the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. Not only that, there will be fewer negative externalities too. Following the circular economics principles, negative externalities such as land use, soils, water, and air pollution are better managed, as well as the emission of toxic substances and climate change. On the other hand, the circular economic model will also provide economic benefits. Moving towards a circular economic model means reducing the number of raw materials used. Instead, more recycled or even reusable or easily transformed inputs that have a higher share of labor costs would be used, leaving companies less dependent on the volatility of the price of raw materials. Besides, it is also will increase potential for economic growth. The increase in revenues from new circular activities, together with a cheaper production by getting products and materials more functional and easily disassembled and reused, has the power to increase GDP and therefore economic growth. Lastly, the circular economic model will also provide new profit opportunities. Profit opportunities may come from playing in new markets, cutting costs off with waste and energy reduction, and the assurance of continuity of supply.
Currently, implementation of the circular economy in Malaysia is at a firm level. There is a lack of legal framework on the implementation of a circular economy in Malaysia. However, according to the OSM, Malaysia recycling rate in 2019 has exceeded the set target of 28.1%, which shows an increase of 3.5% as compared to 24.6% in 2018. following the initiative taken by the government through solid waste separation at source. Here are some steps that Malaysia has already taken in order to achieve a circular economy. The first one is by funding for research and development on alternative eco-friendly products. For instance, when R&D funds kickstart commercialization of product innovation. Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said SRF provides up to 15 million ringgit to SMEs and multinational companies for a matching period of 36 months for a product with technology readiness level of 3 to 9. Other than that, Malaysia is also practicing a no straw by default practice, such as ban on plastic straws in Selangor eateries from July 1st. This regulation was implemented for fixed premise only such as supermarkets, departmental stores, fast food restaurants, and etc. Apart from that, Malaysia also imposed a regulation of a pollution charge at a minimum of 20 cent ringgit for plastic bags. Instead of plastic bags, local government authorities also nationwide utilize compostable garbage bags for garden waste collection. As for now, in 2020, Circular Economic Roadmap has been launched and to be implemented in Phase 2 of Malaysia's roadmap towards zero single-use plastic 2018-2030. Furthermore, for the next few years, Malaysia has also planned initiatives such as widespread uptake of biobag nationwide to replace plastic bag and sold as SKU items. Second, no straw by default practice continues and extends to not fixed premise, including SME business. The bio straw to replace plastic straw will be sold as SKU Eco 001 product, including straws for packet drink. Third, implementation of circular economic roadmap for plastics, including bottles and other single-use products.
Government needs to ban on single-use plastics. Our addiction to plastic has negative impacts on the climate, which may lead to planet-warming greenhouse gas emission at every point in its life cycle. This ban is to prevent millions of tons of plastics from entering the waste stream each year, and when it comes to waste, they last forever every ton counts. Not thus only banning single-use plastic reduces pollution, but it is also reduced demand for plastic production that is contributing to global climate change. But the bans also have cultural effects, where some companies are forced to innovate, rethinking the designs and sourcing sustainable material. Next, the government needs to promote, educate, and enforce the recycling of waste plastics. Malaysian government needs to put more efforts to promote environmental awareness and public engagement. Lack of enforcement has also hindered the success of bans on plastics in other countries. The government can also encourage the use of cloth or jute bags to reduce the overall consumption of single-use plastic bags in Malaysia. Establishments of standards for plastic labeling and production. In Malaysia, most of the plastic recycling companies will import recycled plastics compared to local due to lower price, large volume, and guaranteed supply. In order to boost the recycling industry's market competitiveness, the establishment of a systematic closed-loop supply chain requires a collaborative effort from all sectors. This is because the value captured from the returns as it can be channeled for the same or uses of materials or products during the manufacturing stage. Promote biodegradable alternatives. According to Malaysian government promotes bioplastics by the Star article, Institute of Biodegradable Material Content Chairman David Lee shared an alternative to non-biodegradable and compostable plastics, which are products made of polylactic acid (PLA). PLA is an environmentally friendly substance made from cornstarch and can be used to replace single-use plastics. He said that I had come up with PLA products with 100% food grade, which are biodegradable and compostable. They include cutlery, cups, straws, and toys.
The main challenges faced by Malaysia is lack of strategic guidelines and systematic action plans on how to implement the concept. In fact, the government should strengthen legal policies to support its implementation, as well as bringing clear legislation are the key to promote the transition towards circular economy business models. It is very good that Malaysia has a strategic roadmap on plastic waste, but that is just from one aspect which we are just focusing on banning plastics. We can take an example like the EU's Circular Economic Action Plan, where it covers plans in various ways such as for plastic, waste management,
I am the
innovation and
President of the
investments.
European Commission.
The other challenges is that people are lack of knowledge about sustainability issues. Malaysia has a limited educational and awareness campaigns on environmental issues. In fact, there are still many people who do not know about the circular economic model. Hence, our government needs to put more efforts to promote environmental awareness and educate people through campaigns. It is also can be challenging in terms of financing. It will be challenging for small and medium enterprises, SMEs, who do not always have stable financial, so financing is a must for them. But when their businesses change from linear to circular, the cash flow for these companies may be spread out over a longer period of time because their customers do not buy a product. Instead, they only pay when they use the service. Banks may find this risky and hesitate to offer these companies a loan. So, different types of capital or loans have to be considered by SMEs that want to go into the circular economy. This is where a regulatory framework on the circular economy is important, which could help the SMEs who want to seek for financing and overhaul their linear business models.
To drive impact and action, it is essential to provide stakeholders with knowledge, incentives, and alternative model. This process can start from the very beginning of a product lifecycle with smart product design and production processes to help save resources, avoid inefficient waste management, and create new business opportunities. Governments have a crucial role to play in lowering the hurdles for a circular economy and creating a playing field that favors solutions, products, and business models that are more sustainable. This is particularly important to secure participations from SME, small medium enterprise, which make up 98.5% of Malaysia's business establishment. Hurdles faced by SMEs will limit the speed at which our economy will transition towards a circular economy. The Netherlands is one of the leading countries when in 2016, its government committed to become a country 100% based on a circular economy by 2050. Within 2 years, the Netherlands rolled out 85,000 circular economic initiatives including 420,000 jobs. It also introduced the Green Deal Circular Procurement, an initiative that fostered collaboration between organizations and encouraged the purchase of circular goods and services. This generated over Euro 100 million in procurement done circularly with the program since copied by Belgium, Finland and Paris. Beyond that, our government should look at evaluating the viability of developing frameworks to accelerate financing for a circular economy. This will enable financial institutions to contribute their part, for example, provide resources for circular investment, offer insurance products suitable for circular practices such as leasing and sharing, and develop rating system and information disclosure requirement that can help improve transparency around sustainability-related business risks. The transition to a circular economy requires the participation from all groups in society. Business innovation, regulatory reforms, and lifestyle change need to go hand in hand. Considerable barriers still exist preventing widespread adoption of more circular practice in Malaysia, including economic incentive, accounting rules, and regulation that often favor conventional linear solutions in a business model. But real examples have proven that economic and social enterprise benefits exist. At the very least, a circular economy enables CEOs to secure profits and still sleep well at night.